Minneapolis. If there was a voice of reason in the Blue Jays clubhouse when the team bats were collectively as ice cold as some of the hundreds of frozen lakes in these parts, his name is Justin Smoak. Take a look at the lineup. Manager Charlie Montoyo trotted out for Tuesday's 6-5 win over the Twins, and it's clear that the big first baseman is a rarity on this rebuilding team in that he's a bona fide veteran hitter. As such, Smoak has tried to be a sympathetic ear to some of his struggling young teammates while showing leadership, both his wry wisdom and consistency at the plate. It was a typical Smoak outing in the latest Jays win, a pair of whacks and a 2 RBI single, as the 2017 All-Star kept innings alive and provided continued example of the value of patience as the Jays ground out another win. "I see guys fighting themselves, and for me, I was that guy that when it wasn't going right, I'd hit the gas harder instead of pump the brakes," Smoak said in an interview in the Jays dugout prior to Tuesday's game. "I've talked to a few guys about that, but more than anything it's just about slowing it down. The game is as fast as it's ever been. When you're trying to hit the gas, all you're doing is speeding it up even more, and that's not where you want to be." That had been a tough lesson for some Jays hitters to endure earlier in the season as they fell into the natural trap of pressing. But with Tuesday night's 9-hit effort, there is evidence of a notable upturn at the plate. The Jays batters now have 59 hits over their past 7 games, this after managing just 64 in their first 11. Smoak knows of what he speaks when providing counsel for what was going wrong during those ugly days at the start of the season. Earlier in his career, he was that guy, a swing-for-the-fences, all-for-nothing hitter who took it hard when things weren't going right. Over his previous 6 contests, Smoak has been the model of consistency, reaching base in 17 of his past 26 plate appearances with a breakdown that screams professional hitter. Besides 10 walks, there are 4 singles, a double, a home run and a hit by pitch. "I think I'm just more comfortable with where I'm at," Smoak said. "Maybe my swing, maybe my timing, maybe my approach, a little bit of all of that. I'm better off now than when I used to be, in that when I don't feel good, I somewhat know how to adjust within an at-bat or go back to something in my career. I'm better at minimizing it and thinking about one thing. I'm better at that than I've been in the past." Smoak is optimistic that some of the Jays' younger hitters are coming out of the early struggles as well. "While there have been far too many ugly at-bats, the team has at least found a way to manufacture some wins, including 3 of their past 4. It's just early in the year, we're still just 2.5 weeks in," Smoak said. "I feel like a lot of times guys want to get off to a good start, and when you don't, you kind of put pressure on yourself. I know when I was a young player I felt like every day was Game 7 of the World Series. I feel like you've got to just put it in perspective. Slow it down. It's a long season. Do your work. Do what you've got to do to get to where you want to be, and just go day by day." The wisdom of Socrates. The acquisition of Socrates Brito from the Padres at the beginning of the month has not exactly boosted the Jays in any measurable way. The opposite is more likely true, in fact. With 3 strikeouts and a pop-out Tuesday, Brito fell to 0 for 21 to start his tenure with the Jays, setting a dubious club record in the process. Included in an array of ugly at-bats were no less than 10 strikeouts. Reasonable question to ask now is if he'll have a hit before the team returns home next week. Assuming, of course, that he's still with the team. Game on. Jays starter Aaron Sanchez allowed just 4 hits in his 6 innings of work. Trouble was 2 of those he allowed were home runs. The 4 he allowed were the most in his 4 starts this seaseason, but in improving to 2-1, Sanchez battled through it, striking out 5 to earn the W*. Game 18 of the season featured the Jays' debut of a third baseman recently promoted from AAA Buffalo. Yes, Eric Sogard, 12 years older and 70 pounds heavier than you-know-who, was batting leadoff in Montoyo's lineup, responding with a first-inning single. And it turns out Sogard was just getting started as he added a double and another single for a decent night's work. That's 2 in a row over the Twins as the Jays improved to 7-11 and clamped out of the basement in the AL East. That spot is now the sole possession of the World Series champion Boston Red Sox. A night after Joe Biagini was the Jays' designated closer, Ken Giles threw a bullpen session and was declared ready to go. How ready is up for debate, however, as the first batter he faced, Marvin Gonzalez, rocked him for a 440-foot solo blast to center field to trim the Jays' lead to 6-5. Let's block ads. Why?